Did you ever wonder how it would feel to be boundless, limitless, unstoppable? How would it feel like when self-doubt and insecurity were replaced with confidence, conviction, and mindfulness that would eventually end up to success? Imagine how this would affect not just your everyday life, but also relationships, finances, and achievements. We all know those exceptional, fabulous, and even compulsive people that really strive for it. They truly live their potential with confidence and certainty. What is the key difference between this tiny group of movers and shakers versus a number of people with ambitious aspirations that never really get to the finish line? What holds back most of talented, phenomenal people is not actually a lack of skill or experience, but it is someone very close who sabotages them. Actually, that someone exists in your mind too. Your inner conversations deceive you. It's that voice in your head that sabotages you and judges you. It turns the spotlight on your weaknesses and negativity. And since most of us are not aware of this inner saboteur, it can lead to a destructive self-doubt. It was clear that the most contented and highest performers had figured out how to conquer their inner deceiver. In fact, looking at the patterns that emerged, it was unveiled that this inner saboteur wasn't just one. Rather, there were 5 identified archetypes. Now, let's recognize and understand them one by one so we can help each other in conquering them and have that truly limitless mindset. The first saboteur is the classic judge. This likes to criticize you based on your actions. It may start from what you recently did, what you previously did, and what you didn't do. It's constantly judging every decision you're making and blaming you for uncontrollable things. Contemplating on past failures with an unforgiving lens means that the classic judge is dominating your consciousness and preventing you from learning from your mistakes, and instead keeps on dragging you down. These inner saboteurs are rooted from the parenting a person received. Having experienced a critical, controlling, or demanding parent will have an effect on the grown adult. You probably are familiar with this, as many of us do. You then develop the inability to acknowledge anything positive about yourself or your capabilities, and as a habit, just keep judging, criticizing, and diminishing yourself. This becomes extremely damaging. The second deceiver or saboteur is the victimizer. This has a way of convincing you that the world around you is equipped to conspire against you. Excuses then fill up your mind and strip off all the willpower you have. Victimizer sounds like, "See, this happens to you all the time. You mess up every opportunity for success that comes your way. You're never going to be good enough. Time works against you. Someone is always first to get the best opportunities." So, what would you actually do? You feel the tiredness in your system and give up. You stop trying because this voice in your head reminds you that this is actually pointless and you will not win. The third deceiver is the misguided protector. It tends to give you the idea of slowing down because you are not qualified for this and you are not knowledgeable enough for this. It tries to give you protection from the risk of failure, judgment, or criticism. In fact, it just makes you feel stuck and prevents you from expanding, learning, and growing. Misguided protector is turned on when you or your parents had expectations and things didn't happen exactly that way. So, you received disempowering words, looks of disappointment, and you felt as a loser. Later, Your misguided protector reflects on those feelings and stops you from trying, doing, and achieving. Moving on to the next, workaholic. The gist of this inner voice is productivity guilt. To shed a light on this term, it's that unhealthy drive to keep on working and never learn to rest, because there's that guilt feeling when you stop. This inner deceiver has its way to brainwash you in believing that your achievements and worth as a person are directly related to your productivity. You tend to feel unsatisfied when you reach one goal, so you immediately jump onto the next. There's this unstoppable road to achievement addiction. The fifth self-deception archetype is the pleaser. This gives us a feeling of prioritizing the needs of others before yourself. It's rooted from the insecurity in your own worth, so you tend to anticipate rejection and constantly seek validation from others. Let's take a look at a child who didn't get emotional validation, or has a parent that was hard to please. This has an effect on a growing adult to try and seek approval from everyone around them. It may be your peer, coworker, or most importantly, your boss. Then, whenever you don't receive that validation, it becomes an automatic trigger, and you have conditioned the need to win it back. This specific saboteur deceives you in giving all and beyond. Pleasing leaves you feeling tired, drained, and overwhelmed. But change is always possible, so you can always reprogram your mindset to break free from these limits. Let's overcome these 5 self-deceptions by reprogramming our mindset. The first step is awareness. You must recognize and admit your self-deception archetype. Then you do the reprogramming. If you have a classic judge criticizing you and judging everything that you do, call it out and reprogram that by choosing to focus, notice, mention, talk, recognize all that is good, awesome, what you've done, what you can do, what went fabulous, and what you expect to happen. Journal your successes, your wins and achievements, big and small. By focusing on them, you activate your higher vibration energy to create and attract great things and more success. Let's talk about the victimizer. If your victimizer voice is telling you to just give up, try to shift your internal focus of control. Tune into higher consciousness and be aware of the fact that you can choose what you can focus on at any moment. You can choose to focus on things outside of your control and feel powerless. Reprogram your habit of listening to classic judge by redirecting your attention to the current situation, your inside strength, and what you have power and control over. Use your consciousness and awareness to see what is in the now and decide what you do. Raise your vibration to create a different reality. Also, visualize and trust the universe about the future. In this way, you're acting from a position of personal power, and you take responsibility for what's within your control, and then choose to take action. Moving forward, we have this question now. What if you hear your misguided protector trying to persuade you that success is not in your way and you'll constantly fail? When the protector seems to be taking over, grab a blank sheet of paper immediately and write down all of the arguments. Then, ask these questions yourself. Is this scenario likely to happen? What's the worst that could happen realistically? It is smart to just understand that misguided protector is like a signal to prepare better for an event, speech, job interview, or whatever you expect to happen. Tell your protector voice that you have done all the best what you can do, and about the rest, you trust the universe. Let's reprogram it with mindfulness, that it's okay to have expectations, but it's also okay that things can go in different ways. Accepting your mind is a great friend. Perfection is not the standard which would lead to success. Many successful people prove that mistakes and failures are part of a success story. Let's move to the workaholic. How will we reprogram this? Change the narrative in your head. If you feel undeserving to take a break, because that is not true. Learn to value yourself for who you are and not based on what you have done. Stop wearing busy as a badge of honor. Rather, remind yourself of the qualities that make you who you are. Have this sense of empowerment, and from there, set your healthy boundaries to achieve that balanced lifestyle. Finally, pleaser. We hear that voice, and we know the feeling of over-apologizing, even if there's nothing wrong done. We know the constant urge to say yes, even if you disagree, just to avoid any kind of conflict. We all know the feeling of being a people pleaser, until there's nothing left inside to give. If you encounter this, you need to reprogram the dependency and acknowledge that, as hard as you try, you will never please enough. Be yourself. People will love and respect you for who you are. Let people who resonate with you be a part of your life, and let others to move on. Letting go your pleaser voice will gain a lot of energy and joy of life. Let's wrap it up. Acknowledge that there is a second side to us, which is a higher consciousness and awareness. One that is motivated by the aspiration to express excellence, confidence, service, love, creativity, courage, and justice. This is the limitless aspect of our nature. Learn to integrate also the practice of daily meditation, journaling, affirmations, and reflection to the actions we've mentioned to eliminate from your deceivers. Always keep in mind that you have the power to reprogram your beliefs, habits, inner voice, archetypes, and subconscious mind. Look forward to the transformation of your life once you've distanced yourself from these voices. Let's manifest together. Say it with me. I am breaking free from self-deceptive thoughts, and I am becoming limitless.